Hi everyone, welcome to Ethorse. This video is going to give you a guide on how to play the Ethorse dApp, and it's going to have hints and tips sprinkled throughout it, so keep a listen out for those too. Now, Ethorse is the first dApp that lets you bet on crypto prices against others in a pari-mutuel betting format. It's social and it's engaging, and the dApp is fully transparent and open source. So you can have a look through the code yourself, and it's immutable. Now, some would argue that it's not actually betting, and many traders use effective strategies by reviewing crypto charts to predict the highest likely outcome, known as technical analysis, which they use on other platforms such as BitMEX and various others too. But I'll come on to that a bit later. Now, to get to the crux of it, in order to view the app, you'll need to go to the Ethorse homepage. Once there, you select the betting dApp. A new window will pop up, at which point you'll recognize that our requirement to use the dApp is to have a MetaMask plugin. If you don't already have it, you'll be prompted to get it, which you can do here. It's pretty standard for dApps, and it's secure and used widely within the crypto community. Once you have it, and those that already do, you're good to go. Next, you'll see the Ethorse dApp, and I'll give you a quick overview on what you're looking at. So towards your left, you'll see tiles which include upcoming races, active races. For those of you that have already taken part in races, you'll see those in participated races, below which you'll see non-participated races, which are other races that have taken place in the past. Now currently the races are all for 1 hour duration, and the objective for the winner is to choose the highest percentage gain or the least percentage loss between Ether, Bitcoin and Litecoin. Now in the future there's going to be a whole variety of different types of races, which include different coins, variable duration, and even given the ability to short coins by choosing the one which has got the least percentage gain. Now from the left hand side you can choose an active race, and you'll notice the status of which says open for bets. Once you select that, the details of that race will appear. Just to give you a quick overview, so the betting closes in, and it's going to have a time frame there, and that means you've got up until that timer counts down to 0 to place a bet for that particular race. You'll have race status, which will say live if it's open for betting. You'll have the pool amount, which will tell you in Ether the total volume of Ether placed on that particular race. You have the race duration. As I explained, there'll be various different durations: 24 hours, 48 hours, 72, weekly races, and so forth. Moving further down, you've got the separate tiles with each of the coins or horses in this race, and you would essentially pick one of those. Now, in order to place a bet, you need to have Ether in your wallet, and the minimum bet amount is 0.01 Ether at the moment. There's no maximum, so the sky's your limit. So to choose a coin, as I touched on earlier, many traders will use charts. So you can go and view a 5-minute chart, for instance, and see the trend, such as this, for instance. Once you've chosen the coin that you're wishing to back, you can select that horse or that particular tile. In this instance, we're going to be placing a bet on Bitcoin. A hint is you can place more than one bet, so you can increase your chances of winning that particular race up to 66%, for instance, if I place a bet on 2 coins out of the 3. Another hint is that you probably don't want to leave it to the last minute to place a bet, unless you're looking to pay high gas fees, because if you get to the cutoff and the betting window closes, then and your bet doesn't make it because of the Ethereum network being congested, you'll lose your gas fee and your bet won't be placed. But that's all part of the strategy of the game. Another hint is it's worthwhile noting that you can place bets at different times. So you can maybe place a bet earlier in the time frame of the window opening, and then one a bit later, and then maybe one at the last minute. But again, that's for you to decide. So on this occasion, we've chosen Bitcoin. So the next thing we would do is, in the section noted amount to bet, we'd input how much we'd like to bet in Ether, and then we'd place the bet. Providing you've got Ether in your wallet, a pop-up will appear, and the next thing you can do is change the actual GUI depending on what you think is appropriate for the network and your goals. Once you're happy with it, you hit submit, and then that bet is placed. Depending on your gas and GUI, then you should see that my bet in a few minutes or so, and you can verify that bet being placed under the my bets column, which appears on the same tile of Bitcoin within the same race that you've just placed a bet on. Now be mindful, because it is a pari-mutuel betting style, you'll notice that the odds change as bets are placed by yourself or by all other participants in the race. Now I'll just go on to cover off some of the different other headings that you've got on the dApp there. So on the left, going off from left to right on the tiles, you've got the coin, obviously. You've got the pool total, which is the amount of Ether bet placed on each particular coin. Then you've got the odds. Now the odds that are displayed already factor in the 5% takeout for the dApp. So for example, if the odds were, say, 3.00 and you placed a bet of 1 Ether, your return would be 3 Ether. Essentially, you multiply the odds by the amount you've placed the bet by, and that will give you your winning total. Moving on, my bets will tell you how much you've placed the bet for, as we discussed before, and then you've got start price. Now at the moment, prior to the race starting, you'll see TBC. This will change at the start of the race to a price that's going to be locked in for all 3 at the exact same time. Now you may not see it immediately, but that's because it takes up to 30 minutes for that to come through. Next column you'll see is current price, and that's the price displayed via CoinMarketCap. This doesn't represent the final prices, so just be mindful of that. The end price is locked in the final price taken from CMC API 2, and you can verify that with the timestamps. Now the final column is the percentage change. Now this is the difference between the start price, which is going to be locked in, and the current price. This allows you to track it, but just be mindful, at the end of the race this is not the final outcome. You should wait for the official winner to be announced, which you'll see on where it says currently race status, which is live. That will change to the winner is, and we'd like it to say Bitcoin on this occasion. Now during the race, the time will count down the duration. So in this instance it's for 60 minutes. Then it will display race complete. The race then moves into participated races if you've taken part. If you haven't, you'll be able to see it in non-participated races under the left hand column. Now the race status and the official winner will be announced soon, and that's after the callbacks from the blockchain are officially in. You'll notice the current price reverts to end price column under that particular race. These are the final prices. Feel free to check them. Next up is claiming your winnings. So let's say we're lucky and we've used our skill and Bitcoin wins. You'll know this by selecting the given race and then the race winner being displayed, as I stated before, where the race status is, and that will change over to the race winner. So that will say BTC. Now if you scroll further down, and you'll have your coins listed as normal in that particular race, but below that you will see you have let's say 3 ether to claim, because you placed a bet of 1 ether and the odds for that particular coin winning were 3.00, at which point you'll be deliriously happy, and then you'll claim by hitting the claim button. This will prompt MetaMask to automatically prompt a 0 transaction window to open up, and then as before you'll adapt the GUI depending on what you think is appropriate. Another hint is that you've actually got up to 30 days from the end of that race to claim your winnings, so you don't need to set your gas very high. The transaction shouldn't take too long to complete, and then you'll see it in your MetaMask plugin, and the balance will be reflected and updated accordingly as well. Now to cover off some key points for transparency, the prices are all locked in at the exact same time at the start of the race. No more bets can be placed, and the odds are locked at that point. Now during the race, it can take up to 30 minutes to retrieve the prices by the Oracle, which again I repeat were locked in at the beginning of the race. Usually it's pretty quick. This is the same at the end of the race as well. Again, you may not see the end prices appear for up to 30 minutes after the race ends, because it can take the Oracle some time to retrieve the information. Prices can be verified on the blockchain, and I think that about covers it. So I want you all to have fun. Good luck to everyone. If you've got any questions, you've got the admins and the devs on hand to help on Discord and on Telegram.